Field area weather forecast. Sunshine today, high of 80. Clear tonight, low 58. Sunny and 85 tomorrow. For Wednesday, mostly sunny, high 88. 90s for Thursday and Friday. Sunshine, high of 90 on Thursday. And for Friday, sunshine, high 95. Overnight, low 56. Yesterday's high was 78. Currently, humidity is at 65%. Winds out of the north-northeast at 5 miles an hour, and the pressure at 30.31. Right now, sunshine, 63 here at the WFIW studios east of Fairfield.
Well, we're back to our regular theme song. Good that you didn't conspire with Galen Dunn to change it on Monday as well.
Nah, that's just for Fridays.
All right, fine. That's Mark Turner. I'm Mike Dreeth. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right.
Guess who we got here?
Yeah.
He's back. Walt Townsend. Old Walt Townsend. I actually put it on the Facebook page. Old Walt Townsend is going to be here on Monday. Don't you feel good about being referred to as someone who has aged?
Well, there's a certain bit of pride that goes with it.
There you go.
And I've been retired going on 25 years now, so can't be too young.
And yet still relevant, hip, happening, and that's the reason why we have you here on a Monday morning on the Big Show. Walt Townsend.
If you believe that and got $1, you can buy coffee.
Probably less than Jeff. Anyway, let me just run.
They got that big convenience store up there, Jeff, now.
Not yet.
Well, it's right there.
Oh,
on the
the
side
soda
of the road.
machine.
Yeah,
Yes,
soda machine and the candy machine.
It's always busy every time I go by.
Yeah.
All right, I got a little list here.
All right.
So let me just run through the list.
All right.
I was really happy. I had my son and my grandson in this weekend. We had a great time. Give us a chainsaw, and we can have fun.
Let me guess, the grandson's, 8, 10 years old?
He's 8.
Okay, yeah, there
and
you go.
for him,
Chainsaw 8.
Kawasaki mule. That's all it took for him.
Yeah.
The mule was running nonstop the entire weekend. He also, when he comes, I get tips on how to better use my iPhone. So I have some neat new tricks to use the iPhone because Carson taught me how
And
to
trust
do
me, Walt, we're already tired of seeing him use those new tricks.
that. Get ready because I'm coming after you with some more. They opened up, they said it's a pretty good crowd outside the Elks on Friday night.
Yes, there was. I didn't actually make it over there. I drove past, but it looked they were pretty packed. Had a lot of cars parked out there.
Last night, watched the McGuire Sosa from 1998. Is that right?
Yeah, it was 98.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Brought back a lot of memories, but it made me sad. I mean, it made me sad because I miss baseball so much. Mm-hmm. You know, it really does. Mm-hmm. So that was very interesting.
And now, we heard it in the sports this morning. Players Association rejected the owner's final offer. But apparently when they first started negotiating back then, they said, if we can't reach a deal, you just set a schedule.
And so they're going to.
I guess they're going to set a schedule.
All right, well.
They're done negotiating. The players are.
Walt, there were a number of oil batteries in the county over the weekend where someone who would have had to know something about the operation
Had to know what they were doing.
Opened up the valves to flood. What do they call the little reservoirs around those batteries? Berms. Okay. Well, filled the berms and spilled over, and once that happens, you're going to have some ruined land, aren't you?
Well, if it's just the oil, not necessarily, but if it's got the salt water mixed in with it or they emptied the salt water tanks, yes. But the straight oil without the salt water in it, it'll heal pretty quick.
I talked to the sheriff on Saturday, and he said, depending on how they recovered that crude, or if they could recover that crude, it could be a felony. So
All right.
they're investigating that.
What's the dollar value that makes it a felony? 500?
I guess 500 to 1,000, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere
I
in
don't
that
know.
neighborhood.
I'm sorry. I'd be
Yeah,
venturing off into an area I'm not sure
All
of.
right, so-
Now, there's these oil tanks, I know that they're supposed to have what they call a bull plug, which blocks the end of the pipe if someone opens the valves.
Somebody knew how to get around that wall.
Well, a lot of them don't have it because it's a nuisance when you go to pump the oil out.
There were lots of suggestions. This was not a form of vandalism, but really something tantamount to a protest.
Really?
Yes. Now, the sheriff didn't say that.
What are they protesting?
Well, what everybody's protesting all over everywhere. I mean, that now it's come home to roost here, and I don't know if I believe it or
I don't know if
not.
I believe that either.
Anyway,
Okay.
Football workouts start today.
Got this
Tell
note
us,
from Justin Townsend
say that.
this morning. Attention Mules football players. Workouts begin today. Check the football Google Classroom for assigned groups, times, and procedures.
You know, Walt, we've got a pretty good football coach here in town.
I've heard that.
He knows him kind of well. He's pretty familiar with him.
Well, he's always in the end zone.
That's right. So yesterday, we went down south.
Yeah.
And went to Target. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a sign as you walk into Target, you must wear a mask.
Right.
Okay. So we got in the door, and we saw a couple of people walk out. They didn't have masks on. So, well, those people don't have masks on. So we walked inside, and there was another cart that had a sign on that said you must wear a mask. And so I thought, well, we don't have masks, so I guess we'll just not go to Target.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a Target employee came running up and said, no, you're good. Go on in. It's no big deal. And I said, well, it's okay. I mean, if we don't have a mask, we understand. We'll, just won't go to Target. She goes, no, you're good. We had a couple of employees assaulted because of that rule.
You mean people wanting to come in that didn't have a mask?
And they were told they had to wear a mask.
And they assaulted the employees?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it was a very strange situation because as I was walking around, all I could see was people wearing masks. And the look in their eyes, you could see it in their eyes. It's like, oh, boy.
To you?
Yeah, to me.
Because you didn't have a mask?
Yeah. It's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable.
That had to be a rule, a corporate rule,
that
sign was out
absolutely.
there.
Yeah. Kind of like Menards is doing.
That brings me to this letter that I have in my pork burger stained hands.
Uh-huh.
This is from the pastor at the Fairfield First United Methodist Church. That's Nathan Jeffries. There was apparently a news release a couple of weeks ago concerning the plans for the reopening of the churches in our town. And it said in there that First United Methodist Church did not have any plans to restart services. That he wanted to make sure people understood that's not true. And that if everything goes the way it's supposed to go with the state,
right,
as far as going to the next phase.
Going to phase 4.
That they would be coming back together for worship in person on June 28th. There are a number of churches that are meeting. Mm-hmm. There are a number of churches that still aren't meeting. Mm-hmm. But anyway, as far as the Methodist Church in Fairfield, he wanted to make sure that you knew that there had been plans. There are plans. And they're going along the same thing. There's a bishop here. They're going along with the state plan. That's
right.
Who would want to be an outlaw against the state plan? Right?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so that's I want to make sure that I mentioned that before we get into important things like crops and stuff like that with Walt Townsend.
Oh yeah.
I got something in my head here.
Bucket a bunk. Bucket a bunk. Bucket a bunk. The bucket a bunk. Oh, bucket a bunk. You got me rocking and a rolling, rocking and a reeling for the buck.
Walt, I imagine one day back in the day, you were able to hit the soprano high note like that.
Only when I got hurt.
Birthdays today. Waylon Jennings.
And only when you got hurt in certain places, right?
That's right. That's right. Waylon Jennings would have been 83 today. He died in 2001. Best known as one of the founding pioneers of the outlaw movement in country music. You remember in 1958, Buddy Holly arranged Jennings' first recording session, hired him to play bass, gave up his seat in the ill-fated flight in 1959 that crashed and killed Holly, The Big Bopper.
And Richie Valens.
Richie Valens. The General Artists Corporation promised to pay the first. Get a load of this. After this went down, after the plane went down, this corporation promised to pay for first-class tickets for Jennings and the band that was still there, the Crickets.
Right. To fly somewhere?
To fly them to Texas to play there about right after the funeral of Buddy Holly.
Yeah, and
in
all of those guys were going, nah, I don't think so.
They did it.
They did it.
But here's the thing. The flights were never paid. Jennings continued on tour for 2 more weeks, and he was the lead singer then instead of Buddy Holly.
Right.
They paid him less than half of the original contract salary, and so after 2 weeks he quit.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you?
Isn't that incredible? Anyway, he was a part of the super group, the Highwomen. Okay, quick, tell me, we got a call?
We will, just
All
a
right.
second here. Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson,
Yes.
Waylon Jennings,
Yes.
and I can't think of
Hello.
the other one. Oh, Johnny Cash. Yeah. Good morning. You're on Morning Coffee.
The Waylon Jennings story about him missing that flight when they flipped the coin for it, that his little comment was, and he said jokingly was, I hope you guys crash.
Oh, ouch.
And he had to live with that the rest of his life. Can you imagine that?
No,
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
Thanks for sharing. I didn't realize that story. Didn't know that was part of it. The Highwomen were very, very valuable, good. They made a lot of money at the end of his career. He was married 4 times. He had 6 kids.
probably best known for Jessie Coulter, right?
Yes.
That was his most famous wife.
During the 1980s, he had a bit of a cocaine addiction. He claimed to have spent $1,500 a day on cocaine.
Wow.
And that led up to a little bit of a personal finance problem.
You think?
Yeah, he was bankrupt. He went into debt $2.5 million. Now, here's the end of his life. Excessive smoking, drinking, drug use took a toll on him. In 1988, 4 years after quitting cocaine, he finally ended. Now, grab onto this for a second. In 1988, he ended his 6-pack a day smoking habit.
6 packs a day?
Now, there's 20 cigarettes in a pack, right?
I don't know.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that right, Walt? That's 120 cigarettes a day. That's, if you stay up 12 hours, that's 10 cigarettes an hour. How do you do that?
Well, that's all you do.
That's it.
That's all you get accomplished during the day.
You're like Keith Richards. You don't have anything but a cigarette in your mouth. Anyway, it was his birthday today. Helen Hunt is 57 today. Mm-hmm. She rose to fame as Jamie Buchanan in the sitcom Mad About You.
Yep.
Paul Reiser was in that. By the way, in their last season, they each made $1.5 million in today's money per episode.
Wow.
Not bad, huh?
No, not bad at all.
It only gets better with the next star that I mentioned. But anyway, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for starring as Carol Connolly in the romantic comedy As Good as It Gets. That was with Jack Nicholson, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And she was in The Sessions. She was in The Castaway.
Wasn't she also in Twister?
Twister was
Yeah.
one of the ones that she was really well known for. Boom, boom. Dated Frank Azaria. Guy who plays
Frank.
Hank.
Hank, okay.
Hank Azaria.
Yeah, the
guy who plays Brockmire.
Brockmire.
Yes. They married in 1999. They divorced 17 months later. She's been in a relationship with a producer, writer, and director that had a daughter in 2004, but that relationship ended. She's available.
Okay.
Now, Dave Rigg is really interested, but I understand things are flourishing for Dave Rigg. I might mention that later.
He passed the first test.
He gets to move to the next test
Yeah.
in his dating.
He's now in phase 2 of the dating,
The relationship is moving forward.
the TD. Phase 2 of TD.
She's got to come to Bone Gap now, or not Bone Gap, Westlake.
The suburbs of
Yes.
Bone Gap.
Courtney Cox is 56 today. Of course, she gained fame as Monica Geller on Friends.
Yeah, but where'd she get her start at?
She got
In
her
a
start.
Springsteen
That's
video.
right, 1984 music video with Bruce Springsteen. "Dancing in the Dark" was the
Yeah.
name of it. He reaches down into the crowd, grabs her, and she dances with him on stage. That was her start. According to the Guinness Book, she was making, along with everybody else on Friends, all of the Friends
Yeah.
were making $1 million per episode, which would probably be worth 1.7, 1.8
Yeah.
now. Married to David Arquette, since divorced him after having one child. Looking at history, 1864, in order to establish a military burial ground signed by the Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton. That's how Arlington National Cemetery. That's one of the... I always visit Arlington when I go to Washington.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it.
Yeah. Do you know who owned Arlington?
I think it was Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee. That's
Did he
where-
own the entire, or the largest part of that
Yeah,
property?
that's where his home was, and he owned it.
I think the home's still there, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I'll have to find out because every time I go there, I don't know what it is. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
The Eternal Flame,
There's just so much to it that I find fascinating. Leave it to Walt to know that was Robert E. Lee's
Yeah.
farm. 1938, Johnny Vanderveer, Cincinnati Reds. You remember what he did?
First perfect game?
Back-to-back no-hitters.
Back to back. Wow.
Yes. Go ahead.
Good morning. You're on Morning Coffee.
Yeah, Lee House is still there,
Ah,
and the cemetery was put there for spite against Lee for leading the
Yeah.
Confederates.
All right.
there you go.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you. And we still hold a grudge. We're taking down all of his statues. We
Yeah.
took his farm. Now we're taking down his statues. 1990. By the way, Lee was the one that said when the war was done, don't be building any statues to
Of
Confederate
me.
generals
Of me.
or me or of Confederate heroes. Years down the road, they'll become an issue.
Well, first of all, you're rebelling against the United States.
Right.
Why would you want to build a statue of a Confederate general?
They happened 10, 15, 20 years after the Civil
know.
War, and they were put up by Southerners.
Yeah.
For the most part. I got a story later on in the stack.
Yeah.
They want to take down every military statue in Louisiana, and in its place, they want statues of Britney Spears.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, 1992. On this date, U.S. Vice President Dan Quayle instructed a student to spell potato with an E on the end during a spelling bee.
Ooh.
He had relied on a faulty flashcard that had been written by the student's teacher, who, of course, was a Democrat. So, Dan Quayle. And there's an E on the end of Quayle, by the way.
Yeah.
Ow, I did spill my coffee! Oh, no, the grog is everywhere! Down goes the grog.
Jeff, help.
Thank you very much. Walt's giving... Oh, I got all kinds of stuff here to clean it up. Oh, no. Gosh. We're going to have to go into a break.
You're going to have to shut him off.
Oh, no. Yeah, there's
Too much coffee.
Too much coffee. Old Walt Townsend's here. He's returning as a guest. We're glad to have him here. The Carnaby Square question of the day is, have you consumed more or less national television news coverage over the last few weeks? I don't think the answer is going to surprise everybody.
No.
We're going to be back with more morning coffee. Well, I'm going to have less coffee because it's all over the table here. We'll be back after this.
Hey parents, ever find yourself digging for money to send with your kids but figure out you're out of cash? We're introducing the F&B Easy Card. It's a debit card that can help teach the responsibility of managing money and be easily managed with your own banking errands. The best part? You can set custom daily limits like $10 a day and use online and mobile banking to transfer between this account and any other F&B checking account you own. Interested in learning more? Give us a call for details at 842-2107. F&B, member FDIC.
Women of all ages, mark your calendars for Girlfriends Week Out in Fairfield, June 22nd through June 27th. The Fairfield retail merchants want to pamper you with special deals available for one full week. This shopping event is for everyone. However, if you call Uniquely Rustique at 842-3544 to RSVP, you will receive a coupon packet made just for you. RSVP by June 19th to receive your coupons. Get your girlfriends together and come to Fairfield for a day of fun and shopping as the retail merchants do their best to help you relax and enjoy. During the month of June, Uniquely Rustique will participate in all retail merchant promotions. Stop by each week to register for a chance to win. Uniquely Rustique will celebrate their 12th anniversary this month with specials and promotions all month long. They would like to say a special thank you to their loyal customers for allowing them to serve you. Like them on Facebook or call 842-3544 for curbside pickup or delivery services. Shop locally at Uniquely Rustique for a truly unique shopping experience.
Hi, this is Bill Stevens with another time capsule quiz. Which month and year was it when a group of West German commandos rescued 86 hostages from a Skyjack 737? President Carter accused the oil companies of, in his words,
the biggest ripoff in history.
Pele retired from soccer. In the World Series, the Yanks beat the Dodgers and Reggie Jackson tied a record.
The fly ball to center field and deep. That's going to be way back and that's going to be gone. Reggie Jackson has hit his third home run of the game.
The music world lost Bing Crosby and 3 members of Lynyrd Skynyrd. And this is what the radio is playing.
We're all alone, I go crazy. The king is gone. Baby, what a big surprise. Blue by you. Can't turn me on. We just disagree. But it's daybreak. Whenever I see your smiling face. Do you wanna get rocking with me? It's those changes in my attitude.
That's all the help we can give you, so stay put. The answer and a little bit of the top song from the month and year are coming up.
At Sprint, we understand saving money for your family is now more important than ever. That's why we're offering our best unlimited deal. Switch and get 4 lines of unlimited for just $100 a month. That's right, 4 lines for $100. Plus, the plan includes Hulu, 500 megabytes of mobile hotspot, DVD quality streaming, and more. If that's not enough, to really amp this up, we're including 4 amazing iPhone 11s on us when you trade in iPhone 6s or newer.
October 1977. Baby, come back.
Player and Baby Come Back, the top song of October 1977. This is Bill Stevens for tcapsule.com. Back soon with another time capsule.
If you're hungry for some delicious Deep South barbecue, then go down to the Big Deal store at WFIWradio.com and purchase the $20 gift certificate for only $14.
Greenwood Pest Control is still protecting your family and property during this crisis. Outside treatments to keep school of termites and ants away, plus other structural invaders. Also inside treatments for ants, roaches, bed bugs, and fleas. While you are away, call Greenwood Pest Control at 662-3091 for the service you deserve. That is 662-3091 Greenwood Pest Control.
Why take the 2020 census? An accurate count of our communities helps inform how hundreds of billions of dollars might get used each year for public services. Shape the future of our community. Learn more at 2020census.gov. This message brought to you by the Wayne County Health Department.
Carnaby always gives you a reason to treat yourself. Their on-trend fashions, Brighton accessories, and their one-on-one service. This week, check out Tony Lama, Justin, or Brighton belts, money clips, and wallets, starting at just $22 for your favorite guy. Take an extra 20% off any yellow tag merchandise. Let's all enjoy a shopping day out. No special occasion needed. Don't forget Carnaby's Facebook Live, Walk Through Wednesday.
Well, we're back on Morning Coffee. I've taken care of the spill. Sort of. What I was trying to do is pay homage to the oil battery spill in Wayne County by showing you how the oil seeps out. I showed you that here. Yeah. The question of the day, the Carnaby Square. Did you know that Carnaby Square is the fashion leader and has been for over 40 years?
Amen.
I did know that.
Have you consumed more or less national news coverage over the last few weeks?
Yes.
Starting with you, Turn.
Yes.
You have?
Yes. I don't watch the national news.
More or less?
Less.
Less.
Me too. I can't. It depresses me.
Just
I
shut
can't
her
watch
off.
it. I have been. And guess what? 86% of the people that responded said
Said
they've
yes.
been watching less. A lot less. We had 246 votes. Almost 1,800 people reached. And 86% of them said they've seen less over the last 2 weeks. Ron says, I have not watched national news coverage in about 6 months. You can't believe what you see and hear anymore. So there you go. That was the question of the day. And that leads me to say,
I think that was my comments the last time I watched the national news. Are you serious? I can't believe that.
really, how's your house? How's your business set for heating and air conditioning? I'm just asking.
I think
You
we're
keep
doing
it cool?
okay. We keep it cool.
You know who you'd call if you had a problem?
But I know who to call if I do have a problem
you
this
have a-
week when it hits 95.
Is it going to hit 95 this week?
Friday.
Brian Reitnauer Heating and Air Conditioning, the local authority when it comes to heating and air conditioning. He'd like to be able to take care of you. He does traditional HVAC, that's including Rude and Payne furnaces and air conditioning. We're emphasizing the air conditioning right now. If you need, you think maybe it's not quite as cool as it needs to be. Maybe it needs a little recharge. Maybe it needs to be looked at. Brian Reitnauer is the guy to be able to come by, and he'd be more than happy to do it. I'm going to give you his phone number here in a second, so get ready to write it down so he can come by. Brian Reitnauer, you can tell him you heard about it on Morning Coffee on this radio station, 618-214-2593. And that brings us to our old friend, Walt Townsend. Walt, you brought some plants in. Tell us about them.
Well, let's give these away.
All right.
And what we have here is 4 pumpkin plants.
Okay.
And let's give 2 to 2 callers.
All right.
But they gotta come out and pick them up, and
Yes.
they gotta plant them. But I want to tell you about these pumpkins.
Please do.
These are called bush pumpkins, and they only have a 3 or 4 foot long vine rather than 10, 15, 20 foot vine.
Okay.
And they'll produce 2 or 3 pumpkins.
Good size?
Medium size. And we'd like to give them to someone that these could be even planted at the edge of a flower garden or something because they're not going to go all over.
Good morning. You're on Morning Coffee. Hello? I guess.
That's not somebody that's going to win a pumpkin.
There we go.
Plant.
Good morning. You're on Morning Coffee. Who's this?
I'd like one of the pumpkins.
Okay, who is this?
This Patty.
You want 1 or 2?
2.
No, you can have them, Patty.
And Patty, what's your last name?
Massey? All right, Patty, I tell you what, it'll be out here on the front counter. We got this great big tower out on the East Highway. Underneath that tower is the palatial studios of WFIW and WOKZ, and there'll be 2 of them sitting out front for you. Okay, Patty?
All right, got a couple more. 842-3715 if you like those.
So you wouldn't have to worry. Like, for instance, my wife has a raised, one of those raised plots in the backyard so that the dogs won't eat them. And it won't completely consume them if we put them in there because they don't have that big of a reach.
That'd work good.
Okay, I think he's taking just another winner there. So it's good. Thank you for bringing those out. You always bring something that people enjoy getting their hands on.
Okay. All righty. Thanks.
What do they call the great big dwarf? What do they call the great big pumpkin?
Atlantic giant.
Yes.
That would be the great pumpkin, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Second,
Comes around.
the second winner, we had Patty Massey.
Yep.
And then Nikki Owen.
Okay.
And Nikki says just bring her 2 home.
That's on you, buddy.
We can do that. I'd do that for Nikki. But like I say, people might think about these for next year. They're called bush pumpkins, and it's because they have a short vine, and they go in a very small space. And I started these for the grandkids, and ran out of grandkids. So I thought, well, I don't want them to go to waste. I'd bring them in.
Well, we appreciate it. So tell us, what's the latest going on in agriculture? You're the articulate voice of Wayne County agriculture. Tell us what's going on.
Well, I think we're finishing up planting and replanting. We'll be starting the wheat harvest maybe sometime this week, depending on the weather. And then we'll be double cropping. We don't have a big wheat crop this year. Wheat's not been the most profitable the last couple of years, but wheat plus double crop can compete. But the crops look great now that although we've got some late planted in the wet areas, the bottoms fields don't drain good, but even those wet fields are getting planted now.
What's it going to be by the 4th of July? Knee, shoulder, head, high?
Waist high or more.
Think so?
It's most of it's already way past the knee. And enough talking about July. My goal is to have tomatoes by the 1st of July, and it's going to be
happen?
It's going to be a rush. I'll have cherry tomatoes by the 1st of July, but I'm not sure I'll have big tomatoes. Now, gardeners, the early girl variety will probably produce the tomatoes as soon as they're considered like 53 days. And so, with some of the others, you can go up to 80 days before you get tomatoes.
I love tomatoes. Fresh tomatoes are just the best thing in the summer, without a doubt.
Yeah. But some of these tomatoes you buy in stores or at the restaurants, wet red cardboard. I mean,
that tastes better, huh?
You might as well put ketchup on cardboard. But I stopped at Bullard's this morning and got rolls, and
thank you for that, by the way.
Thank you. And they got some good tomatoes.
Oh, good. That's good to know.
Tomatoes.
Good morning. You're on Morning Coffee. Hello?
Oh, yeah, people calling in. And hey, by the way, if you do have any questions about, ag matters, Walt's here. Yeah. He's an encyclopedia. What did he just tell? He was just telling us about the height on grain elevators and water towers.
The 90 feet for water towers.
You get 1 pound of water pressure for every 2.5 feet of height. So if a city is wanting to have 40 pounds water pressure as an average, you have a 90-foot water tower.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. You're on Morning Coffee.
I can barely hear somebody.
Yeah. Are you there? There we go. How about now?
Go ahead. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. We missed you. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to say this while Walt's there. This is Dave Rigg. Back when I was doing the news, and it was a slow news day, I could always know that if I called Walt Townsend, he'd be good for about 2 or 3 minutes updating on the conditions of the crop. So, Walt, you're a good friend, and I always knew I could count on you.
Well, thank you. It helped me, and it helped Extension. I like to have an Extension story a week at least to let people know they were getting their money's worth.
Well, you always came through, and God bless you, Walt.
Okay, you too, Dave.
How are you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great.
All right, fine.
Did you get my message there?
We did.
You moved forward. We have. And that's good news for all of us because we'll have more stories to tell about you, my friend.
Yes, we will.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll bet Walt would endorse that. Being in the farming, ribs that comes from the animal, farm.
We'll talk about it, David.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Here's the thing. I said to him, Walt, he's starting to see, he's seen a new lady.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. We're trying to set him up. We'd like to see him move forward, in his life. He's got this lady over in Indiana he's starting to see. And I said to him, I thought he made a mistake with his first date. His first date, he bought ribs. Okay? And I said, mistake, you don't want to be picking up your food and eating it and putting barbecue sauce on your face during your first date.
You might as well have the acid test right up front.
That's true. Good morning. You're on Morning Coffee.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good to hear you today. Hey, I've got a question for Walt. I've got my 18 tomato plants, and I've tested the soil, and everything is where it should be, but they are firing and dying the bottom half of my tomato plants. What could be the problem?
Well, the only thing I could think of, what you can do is keep them mulched, which gives them more. What you're trying to do is keep a uniform moisture level in the plant. And I don't know if you got some disease. If there is, there's not much you can do about the disease. I try to rotate where I have tomatoes every couple of years. I think that seems to help a little. But
this is in a moisture area. It developed when we got all this rain.
Yeah, I've ran into this with trees. The roots have to have air, and if it just stays too wet, then the roots can't get air. Yeah, they suffocate. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Well, all right. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate it. We're sort of in an Ask Walt mode here, especially with everything growing right now. If you have a question, here's the guy that can answer it, or at least he can take a shot at it. But we were stunned because he knew why water towers had to be a certain height, and that's become an issue in Fairfield over the last week. The height and the location
mainly
of water
the location.
Towers. Yes, mainly the location. So, that's you also. I mean, and you had the Bobcat here. I'm talking about our news guy. Wanted to know why his dad's grain elevator was so high, and that has to do with flow, right?
Right. The angle that the tubes go out from it, make sure they don't have a little wet grain or something that doesn't plug.
Okay.
You know, last week, Walt, we were talking about in kind of cultural wars that are going on right now. We had mentioned that Yosemite, that the Elmer Fudd had been disarmed. I didn't know if you knew that.
Yes, I'm
Looney Tunes taking the guns away from both, and now they're taking away the guns, the 6-shooters of Yosemite Sam.
Are they going to take the ray
now
gun away from Marvin the Martian?
That hurts.
No, I don't think so. I think these are the only 2 right now.
Oh, man.
No, wait a minute. Here's a new one. This just came in. Pepe Le Pew's scent glands are going to be removed as well. Did you know that?
No. Did not know that.
And the Tasmanian devil is going to have to go
through anger management?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Man. All right. Walt has trivia today.
And this is the trivia because we scheduled you right before the beginning of March, if I'm not mistaken, right before St. Patrick's Day. You had trivia for St. Patty's Day, right?
I did.
So you brought it today. So we're doing St. Patty's Day trivia. There we go.
All right.
All right.
I got 10 of them.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I consider myself part Irish, and my mother was redheaded. My mother-in-law was redheaded.
McTownsend?
Well, actually, we got some Scots. Well, it gets to be a long story. But first question.
All right.
What was St. Patrick's nationality?
St. Patrick's nationality.
Okay.
Okay. How did he get to Ireland? Third question, does a shamrock have 3 or 4 leaves?
Okay.
Does March 17th mark his birth or death? Number 5, when was the Irish potato famine? Number 6, what caused the famine? 7, how many starved to death?
Okay.
8, how many immigrated
Away?
away
Yeah,
from
mainly
out of
to the
Ireland
U.S.
and Canada? What was a coffin ship? The number 9. And number 10, who dug the drainage canals around New Orleans?
Around New Orleans.
That's the 10
Gnarly.
questions.
All right, there you go. Walt Townsend's delivering St. Patty's Day trivia just a little bit late because he had it, and he was going to share them with us. And we got a little Black Betty playing in the background from Ram Jam as we take this break. We'll be back after this.
Attention, Class A CDL drivers. KMA is now offering a $2,000 sign-on bonus. KMA is currently hiring drivers for spotting and local shuttle work, consistent hours, weekly pay, monthly safety, and attendance bonuses. No hazmat, no truck stand moves, no long route runs, and higher mounted airlines for easier access. Full benefits package. Free health clinic for insured employees. Call today, 833-237-8929. That's 833-237-8929.
Graber Post Buildings, trusted throughout the heartland of America, provides the highest quality built post and stud frame structures in the country. Visit with one of our dedicated building department members today and let them show you how affordable a Graber Post building can be. Our quality crews can have your building constructed in no time for years of durability and beauty. Our professional sales staff is on hand to take care of any contractors or do-it-yourselfers. Call the trusted tradition, Graber Post Buildings at 800-264-5013 or visit us online at graberpost.com.
When a challenge rises up, do we let it stand in our way or go the distance to overcome it? I didn't want to stay at the bottom, but after I was shot 4 times in Afghanistan, I was told I'd never walk again or have feeling below my waist. If I even survived, I felt paralyzed, physically and mentally. There were many times where I took 2 steps forward, only to be knocked back 5. When I struggled to get up my hill, depression and thoughts of suicide threatened to keep me down forever. My wife and healthcare providers were there to catch me and push me forward. I learned that psychological care is key to recovery from both physical and invisible wounds. It's been more than 2 years and my journey is still ongoing, but I know I won't quit. Decide now that I will take the first step. Reaching out is a sign of strength. Visit realwarriors.net or call 800-874-2273.
Is your child up to date on their immunizations or wellness exams? Or does your child need a school or sports physical? And did I mention sports physicals are free for all established patients? Yes, I said free. Call 618-842-4470 to schedule an appointment at your Fairfield Community Health Center. We have 3 dedicated pediatric providers ready to assist you. Our Pediatric Express Care is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Time to talk with Sheldon Bunning from Le Mans Chevrolet Chrysler. Good morning, Sheldon.
Good morning, Mark.
How's the weekend?
Well, it was nice. Too short, but it was nice.
Saw that some new folks driving a Jeep Gladiator over the weekend.
We did. We did sell the old retro scrambler there Saturday.
Yeah. Saw some folks out driving that one. Saw some other folks who were driving new Jeep vehicles over the weekend, like Chris and Lori Robson.
Yes. Yes.
You guys have been busy because it's Jeep weather.
It is Jeep weather, man. I did learn a valuable lesson, which I shouldn't say I learned it. I mean, did you get yours covered up for the weekend?
I was a little late yesterday morning.
I was too. I sat out all night Saturday night and all day Sunday till about noon. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I learned a valuable lesson as well. So
that's why they have plugs in the floorboard.
That's right. You got it. So what else is going on down at Le Mans? You guys have been busy and busy and busy as the week went along, as June has went along.
We have been we've been fortunate, been busy. You know, I mean, we'll take it when we can get it. You know, I kind of mentioned that, you know, we don't have a lot of new vehicle inventory, but we haven't had a new car dropped off in about 3 months, so, and that's on either side. But, you know, I know especially on the Chrysler side of things, you know, a lot of the incentives are sold order protected. So if you come in, or even the special financing, we can order you one, and then when it comes in, you get the incentives that were available to the day you ordered it. So we can do that for you.
And, of course, every vehicle on the lot has the forever warranty that you guys offer.
That is correct. We do that at no cost to you, but it's a lifetime powertrain guarantee as long as you own it. We did get an incentive enhancement on the Ram trucks over the weekend. We do now have zero again. We have 0% for 72 months on the 2020 Rams on the Bighorn.
All right.
So that's a nice boost. Maybe you want to do some financing. You can get that done at 0%.
All right. Sounds like a deal. And, of course, the service department is going strong.
Yep, got the full crew. Everybody's working back there. If you need something, give Jeremy or Jason a holler. And if you need some tires, Jay's got deals on those. Give him a buzz.
All righty. Sheldon, as always, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you Thursday.
All right, you guys have a great week.
You too.
Radar Weather is sponsored by Conard Financial Group at 510 West Delaware in Fairfield, with securities offered through Raymond James. Conard Financial Group, investing in the community since 2003.
Does your financial future depend on the performance of a single investment? In any type of market, allocating your investments among a variety of assets may help minimize risk. I understand the importance of asset allocation and can design a diversified portfolio based on your risk profile to help you attain your goals. For details, call me, Chris Conard, at 842-7855. That's 842-7855. Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Life well planned.
Your Classic Hits Fairfield area weather forecast. Sunshine today, high 80. Clear tonight, low 58. Sunny and 85 tomorrow. For Wednesday, mostly sunny, high 88. Sunny and 90 on Thursday. And for Friday, sunshine with the high 95. Overnight, low 56. Yesterday's high was 78. Currently, humidity is at 59%. Winds out of the north-northeast at 4 miles an hour. And the pressure at 30.31. Right now, sunshine 64 here at the WFIW studios east of Fairfield. Radar looking good this morning as well. Nothing showing up anywhere in the area in terms of precipitation. Radar weather brought to you this morning by the Conard Financial Group.
We're back on Morning Coffee. Old Walt Townsend here. He's the trivia master this morning as well. He's got some stuff from back in March when we had him scheduled, and then we canceled him abruptly as we shut down the palatial studios at WFIW. Go ahead, Walt. What do you got?
Well, before I get into the trivia,
yes.
I want to talk about emerald ash borers. People should be noticing a lot of dead ash trees. And this goes back to a borer insect from China, and they work under the bark, girdle the tree, and they either die or they kill the top of the tree, and then the tree will put up a bunch of new shoots from the ground or a few feet up. And about everywhere you look, you can see these ash trees dying. There's really nothing you can do and I just hope that some of the trees end up taste bad to the borer, and we find some resistance to
We were talking.
Spray some hot sauce on that tree. That'd probably work.
The ash is, I think, the dominant
I
wood
think
that's
it
used
is.
for baseball
I think
bats,
it is,
if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, the trivia. Now my dad was proud to have an Irish ancestry. He said there was two kinds of people in the world, the Irish and those that wish they were. So anyway, what was St. Patrick's nationality?
He was British, wasn't he?
He was British.
Oh, there you go.
Chalk one up. How did he get to Ireland if he was British?
Well, he took a boat. He walked.
He was Catholic.
Slave ship.
Oh, give it to the Bobcat.
16 years old, he was captured and taken as a slave, sold to Ireland, worked as a shepherd. When he was 22, he managed to escape back to England. Does a shamrock have 3 or 4 leaves?
I'm going to say 4.
I don't think it matters, does it?
Jeff says 3. We'll go with 3.
Oh.
All right.
And why was this important to St. Patrick? He held up the shamrock and explained the Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Ah, okay.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does me too.
Does March 17th mark his birth or death?
I'm going to say death.
I'm going to say death, too.
Correct. It was his death. When was the Irish potato famine?
Mid-1800s, wasn't it? Didn't it start about 1845, 47?
1845, 1852.
You nailed it, buddy.
What caused the famine?
Lack of potatoes.
Okay. What caused the lack of potatoes?
It was a spudemic.
It was some type of the emerald ash borer.
It was a blight caused by Phytophthora.
Okay.
Oh, that was right on the tip of my tongue.
It killed the potato plant. How many starved? And they starved while Ireland increased its export of foods because these big estates.
Yeah.
How many starved?
Oh, I don't know.
16 million.
1 million.
1 million.
1 million.
Okay.
How
Plenty.
How many immigrated?
A bunch of them went to the United States and Canada,
Yeah.
as we said earlier.
I don't know.
I'd say maybe a quarter million.
I'm going to say 6 million.
1 million.
Oh, 1 million.
1/5 of those that immigrated died getting to the U.S. or Canada.
And another big portion of them died during the Civil War.
Wow.
I believe so.
And number 9, what was a coffin ship?
Well, I guess it means that everybody on it, they were taking people out to sea to bury them, to throw them overboard.
Well,
that's a guess.
Half right. These big estates were supposed to take care of their peasants.
Right.
Or they had the choice of paying passage for them to America or Canada. And so it was done by the low bidder, crowded as much as possible, and up to 1/2 of the Irish on these ships died.
Gee.
And
Wow.
that's why they called them coffin ships. They were and number 10, who dug the drainage canals around New Orleans?
How about the Irish?
The Irish. Why
Yeah.
did they do it? And this was in like 1855 in there.
Because
Well, New Orleans is...
they offered them land, didn't they?
No.
Nope.
Slaves were too valuable.
Oh, man.
This is the truth. The slaves were too valuable, and the Southern people wouldn't hire them out to dig the canals because the death rate was so high from disease.
So they got the Irish.
So they got the Irish, and if they died, then they didn't have to pay them. Whoever died.
Didn't a lot of Irish workers dig like subway tunnels in New York too?
The railroads, yeah, anything. But they dug the canals to drain New Orleans because slaves were too valuable. They couldn't risk losing them. But the Irish,
they were okay with.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to risk losing you, Walt. So we're looking forward to come back
You're
on
our
a
favorite
regular. Come back on a regular basis. We'll set it up, and we look forward. Every time you come, you bring something, and we love that. We love what the food that you bring as well, buddy. Walt Townsend here. Thank you, Walt, very much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow with Morning Coffee. Stay right here on 104.9 WFIW and WFIWradio.com. Alexa, play WFIW.
It's time for classic hits from WFIW.
News, talk, sports, and classic rock. This is the station listened to, not just heard. 104.9 WFIW FM Fairfield, Illinois.
Time now for the news, brought to you by Boyd Furniture and Mattress Center in downtown Wayne City. They have a large selection of power sofas, love seats, and recliners. Ask about free financing.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Rashard Brooks' widow